bottle away cash is predicted to go. Of course, you've got two very talented teams, players that we've already highlighted, some on the weaker side, some on the more positive side, but hopefully we can wash across that board as we get ourselves ready to dive straight on into the game, as it looks like they are ready to go. Knifey is going to be getting any second now, which means one thing is certain. Snods will be back on the desk. Come back over here. I would ask you a question, but you're not even plugged in, so I'm just gonna let that happen. There we go.
We're all human.
It's a hard life.
Some people need to leak.
Gotta let that happen. What are you thinking, FM versus Endpoint?
Right, anyway, back from where I was. FM versus Endpoint cash. I mean, Endpoint picked this for a reason.
That's some top-level analysis. Why did they pick it?
So, why did they pick cash? You know, honestly, at first glance, I would have told you this was an FM pick.
Okay.
Reason being, Stanley, Pulse, Jenko, Robin, such strong individual aimers, such strong players. On the T side of cash, that's what you need. So many 1 versus 1s take place on this map, especially if you're on the T side. If there are 3 CTs in mid, that's when you see the one player that's towards A, the one player that's towards B. On your T default, start to push and go for those 1 versus 1s.
Those 1v1s can always find yourself in a pretty interesting situation that involves you either winning or losing. Let's talk about winning or losing. It's going to be FM. 5-man stack straight on towards B, but Jess just going to be putting them down. 3k for him.
I'll
Max
take that
and
back.
Ezio
It's
find one of their
pick. Oh my. So, no flash, dry run, rush B. Didn't quite work out, did it?
I mean, you don't need no flashes. I feel like our admin, Rasty, or Jazz in some cases, got this one on point. Why can't we do that? Why can't just any random players do that? The answer...
We're not paid, that's one reason why. They're salaried for a reason.
It's certainly proving it in that one. Very
Jesp
clean.
is a mercenary.
I gotta say, Jesp, if he sticks with this lineup and actually gets picked up officially,
great. Yeah,
it's going to be 10 out of 10 in terms of lineup. Looking forward to seeing how that's going to go. But for now, bring things back to the topic at hand. FM, they had a choice. Do we go into this one guns blazing or not? Well, we can see Tech9's, Kevlar and such, they're looking to make this one stick and to throw those Tech9s into those battles, but this is not really one that favors them. Imi has the advantage clearly with the UMP at this sort of...
He is playing on the site though. And generally, when you know you're playing versus the anti-eco, you do play retake. But with the SMGs, he's obviously favouring himself here. He is playing front of site, so he can dip out of the site whenever need be. But we can't see their guns.
Yeah, do you know guns are so 2015? We don't need guns in Counter-Strike anymore. We're back to Quake.
That's a reference I don't get.
Oh, you need to play Quake, man. We gotta fix this at some point.
Well, anyway, enough of that.
Neil, just
we can see pistols, but not rifles.
Yep, it's a thing. It's all about spamming that escape button.
Oh wait, we can see it
making
now.
it work. Maybe we're even good.
We're working. We can see the guns now. There we go. What? No, take that
FM,
back.
it's a bug. We'll let it happen. Just CSGO things. You guys are used to this by now.
Counter flashes, counter nades coming out from the CT side, holding back the T push. You saw how blind those players were. Jess, that's a good smoke. Those T players have to jump through if they want anything. Jess faces, they know exactly where he is now, and he does hold that one angle. Gets one through the smoke. That's such an easy frag. That's why he's throwing that smoke. Get any more USP in hand. Well, I say in hand. There's nothing there. Gets himself the third for that round. Jenko last alive here with P250 trying to take a gun out of the hand of Imi, and he shall do that. And on his bike, he runs.
Yeah, not going to be
You don't run on a bike, do you? He cycles.
I mean, yeah. It's almost like me and Jordan trying to ice skate yesterday. We didn't really kind of skate. We kind of just waddled through the place as Jeff gets himself...
I wasn't going to go ice skating, I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, it was a...
Oh, it's us. Hello.
was an interesting experience, suffice to say. 3k coming in from Jess, though. Back-to-back 3Ks
really good
for
smoke.
him.
We saw Neil Zinio through the same thing on his CT side. Trying to think of other examples. Envious on Cobblestone. When you have your CT player in drop, when he dies, a lot of the time you'll see Apex playing on that B-bomb site. He'll actually chuck a smoke off that electric block area, whatever you want to call it, and the T's have to jump through that if they want to go towards B. I mean, it's such a strong strat. You don't really see too many players do it. Are we ready to go back into the game?
Yeah, I think we're going to dive straight back into the game any second now. Just waiting for Jake to hit the magic button, as it is going to be...
Players are ready. There we go. And we are unpaused. So, Jenko saving the UMP there. 10 seconds on the clock left. He didn't want to go and die after time and get 0 cash for that round. And instead, we're going to be seeing the full eco coming out from FM. It's not the end of the world if you do lose the T-pistol here on this map. So, FM can definitely stay relevant in this best of 3.
Yeah, by all means, not out of the woods just yet, though. It is going to be Endpoint just trying to keep on the flow of rounds they've got themselves going. or into, should we say, as Lazar is going to be taking the battle over towards mid with that Famous in his back pocket. But what is he actually able to achieve when he is going to be tackling him down? A great nade coming out there. Jenko, 32 HP, so much value.
This over now.
Coming out from that HE grenade. There's another one to land in towards A main, knocking Robbing down to 73. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you throw frag grenades. It's not just leaving them in your back pocket and dying without using them. You actually have to use them and do some serious damage. Max is just going to hold the angle, and notice how there's always a running trend. FM always having to feel like they have to rush into a situation. They can't calculate anything with these pistols. And with
this is a full eco.
It is a full eco, but it's something that I noticed in the last round as well, is that every single time Endpoint are tackling these anti-ecos, they're always making FM feel like they have to rush or they're having to go into something nice and quickly.
I mean, it's quite a different set of styles. So, FM is very aggressive. T and CT side. Endpoint, the complete opposite. They love the slow T defaults. They love playing passive on their CT side, playing the retakes. Max, second frame this round. 3, 4, easy. Not quite the ace though, because Imi's there to get the final frag and the $600 for him. They would have much preferred having 4 kills on an SMG, but it's what it is.
Still, money to be made, and they're not going to be complaining about anything at this point, judging by they don't actually have to rebuy, if anything at all, so $4,000, $5,000 in the bank. Substantial amount for Endpoint, but the biggest thing and the most notable thing is FM, they're on the buy of their own. The 5 AK-47's utility, a little lackluster. They do have 4 smokes though, which is enough to formulate and execute already nil. Going to be throwing one out.
Smart play here. No AWP, which means they don't want to play slow. They want to take control of the situation. The problem is though, Pulse, this is easy pickings. 1-for-1 trade, and they know where Lazar is. 1-for-1 trade generally going in favor of the Ts, because you see the HP is well onto Lazar. They might know he's weak on this A-bomb site.
A lot of value
He shall rotate though.
I do like the rotate, gotta be said.
Oh my, is he going to get caught off guard here? Oh no, Stanley's not outside yet.
Thankfully. Would be a little bit concerned if he managed to get outside without any sort of notice at all. The timings being something that Endpoint tend to be on the better side of, in terms of rotations.
So, 1 minute on the clock. 4 versus 4, and actually this is a good read here. Endpoint, after they took control of Squeaky, Jenko retook that part of the map, and Endpoint don't know, which means that's why they're stacked towards B. As I said, that Lazar falls back after the sound cues come in, after Imi hears the flashes. He's spotted on default, and this is going to be hard for him. Lazar in the open, he's going to get a frag! Dies through the smoke. It's all up to Imi now, he needs a flash, he needs to make the play, because they're 1 man down, pushes and gets the headshot onto Robin. 3 versus 3, slamming through the smoke, he's towards Forklift, but it's going to be Jenko there spraying. Not quite connected just yet. 1 HP on Imi and he will fall. 2 versus 3, and Jenko's trying to make it even. 3 versus 1 potentially, I say that, but it's going to be Nilzinho who does it. Jesp finds Jenko. 74 HP and a kit. No utility. Angels is all that's going to be to his name.
Such a tough one here for Jeff to try and play around. Of course, he has got the opportunity to try and take these 1 versus 1s, but on paper, FM should not be giving them to him at all. They should just sit tight in quad, just hold that angle, and from there, Stanley can shoulder peek for a bit of information. But this is pitch perfect for a T side to hold. They're in the best case scenario. Jesp has to try and take these battles. He's going to look for the frag onto Stanley. He's going to get away with that as well.
About. Yep.
He does get the pick, which, from a money perspective, is somewhat of an aiding factor.
It's definitely the right play there. Look at the money. There's only going to be 2 AKs. Actually 3, because the Nilzinho shall drop. Imi is lagging once again. Apparently someone, don't know if it was in his house or on his network, had a stream on Nuke, and that got turned off. Hopefully, if it's a younger brother, a sister, a mum, dad.
It's all about that family support.
Not really support, is it, making your family lag?
I mean, I'd put money on the fact that would they actually know what the case that what that is.
Well, one problem I have as well is like if my sister's home and one of her apps updates on her phone, randomly I'll get a 500 ping while it downloads. Who knows?
Just Nod's problems.
I'm
There
sure
you have
a
it,
lot of
ladies and
people have
gents.
that problem, not just me.
Is this a segment of the show where we just reel down through the problems of Snods in your house environment?
Wow, this is getting dark real fast. Hopefully though, Endpoint CT side can shine me up a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? Light me up a bit.
Not quite sure
With
that
a
was what we were going for.
Because 3-1. If they do lose this though, their money shall be in tatters. FM. If they lose this, the same goes for them. 200, 400, 1.6k on these players. So, be all or end all for both of these teams. This round here could really change and dictate the pace of the first half. FM win it, we're going to see them reaching 3-3 as long as a miracle doesn't happen. If Endpoint win this, they're going to be running right in the lead, and mentally, FM, after losing their map pick, might catch them off guard.
Pulse. It's going to be over towards Squeaky. Going to be the man to try and always have a bit of a ladder impact in it around. Of course, once that A main pick tries to come on in, then he'll peek out towards Highway and try and always have that later effect, as mentioned. Of course, a very credible setup coming in from FM, as it's going to be smokes out towards mid, and that alone will try and throw Lazar off guard, as he's going to find himself
He can still
toying
see
with that
through
shroud,
this,
but
surely.
yeah,
That's
he can actually
awful
see through the
smoke.
left side. That's
awful.
it's got to be said. Yeah, pretty damn abysmal.
I mean, right there, that is a comparison I can see instantly between Jenko and Lazar's AWP. Instantly.
Yeah, Lazar's not actually going for this at all, which is something that he could have a huge impact in this round if he peeked on out, because that's a pick that realistically FM would struggle to trade. The re-smoke is going to come down. Another really bad smoke. Almost becoming a bit of, well, a nonsensical style for Endpoint, as they're just more than happy to not quite play around them, but FM on the struggling side, at least from a utility perspective. But nonetheless, utility is not quite the bill and handle of life. What it is where they can get themselves onto their site, as they are going to begin to formulate themselves to push on over towards B. Ezio, well, is working out for him. He's looking to go aggressive, but actually
see him.
Swaps back over. No information still.
And the T's have the information where Ezio is. They can molly exactly where Ezio is, but instead they're just going to dry peek it. Who needs flashes when you got the aim of the FM players? Ezio faces from the default position. Does he spot the other players just yet? They're all flashed. Peeks now. Sprays one. Doesn't quite get the second, but Robin's low. 4 versus 4.
Such a counterpoint for Endpoint. Their information was so lacking. Lazar's still going to land a shot on towards Nil. They finally get those rotates back up there to their game. But even then, how is this going to work? Jesp looking for a peek down and towards Pit. Pulse going to be there to sit ready and waiting. Very crisp from Jesp as he puts on a show. Looking for just one more now on towards Jenko. If he can find that. Robin on towards the site. He's almost sentenced to death.
You can tell he's proud of that one. He's definitely proud of that one.
Going to be feeling it now. He swings
one.
it out.
Go on, get the third.
Takes down Robin. Looking for the third. And me going to steal it right away. But I think Jesp would have got that one either way anyway. So
his profile picture is KFC. Finger licking Chris Bain. That is.
Happy days for Jess. Put on a show, and the best part about Jess for me is, I think I spoke to him about this yesterday, was we saw him just heading these insanely good shots yesterday's match, and his response was, yeah, but I missed a couple of easy ones, so I'm not that bothered.
Miss easy, hit hard. That's generally what you said about Orpers, actually. Not quite right for his bot. In the previous game, he was bottom fragging for his team, and right now he's 10-1, so...
That's an impact.
Yeah, Laz up. Finds the first onto Robin, just walks into a scope with the Deagle or P250. Don't know why he's doing that, but fair play to him. Does he expect Jenko close? I think he does. Oh, let's see what happens now. Oh, he hits it. Woo! It's a nice flick there. Jenko falls. And already 2 frags for Lazat in that round. In this round, Max again on the A-bomb side, shelling down the T players as they go in on this on their low buys.
I always feel like I do want to kind of make a point that Lazar had actually done that in the previous round where the smokes are bad. Could have seen...
Oh, that's... No. That's a bit BM, come on.
Could have been an interesting point in itself.
I mean, the comparison I was making between Jenko and Lazar was one of the things I noticed about playing, or watching Jenko play and playing against him is when there's a smoke down, similar to how similar to Phelps on Immortals, where to see a smoke, they almost know instantly, well, oh, there's a gap in this one, and they'll crouch just to the corner and try to get a tiny angle, even if it's just... You know, you can only spot half a foot.
Yeah, I think it comes down to making that decision at the end of the day, doesn't it? So I think we can, you know, you can pick apart certain parts. We can all kind of voice our different opinions on the way we'd approach the situation, but nonetheless, it is the 5-1 scoreline. Stanley, a bit of a rough one for himself as well, looking to not quite make a bit of a pickle of things. In fact, on the upwards trend in an ideal world, as it is going to be a quick boost coming out from FM. They look to find an early advantage.
Should we stand 0, dog? Because he's
even
got one frag yet.
Is that he wants to find a frag. That's besides the point almost, though. Is the big thing is that...
Oh, he's going to see that Molotov! Surely they know exactly where he is now.
Well, it's actually kind of glad that Molotov goes out, though, because Stanley, if he decided to push that at any point, Ezio would have just been able to take him down a peg, and from there, Ezio gets to sit in a nice comfortable spot for himself, because he's still tucked in towards the left side of mid. He can hold towards any sort of pushes that come through, and...
They boosted up Jenko the AWP. They know Lazar was AWPing towards Connector, and right now Lazar's towards B, holding... I believe that's Nilzinho. But enough of that, because it's going to be Ezio peeks up towards boost. Stanley still on 0 frags. Anyway, Ezio is still alive. And now Robin through the smoke. Gets him. Does he? Yes, he does. Trades and gets the second potentially, but Mighty Max secures the deal. The 1-for-1 trades go in favour of the CTs. And Jenko, you see how he's trying to make the play. Oh, spots him. Don't reface that, Imi. There's no reason to. Molly goes through. That pulls back the players. And right now, this is dire situations for the Ts.
The trying to force the way out through a gap that's almost non-existent at this point as Neil tries to at least try and turn the hand of Max. He gets it a nice success, but Lazar, he's landing the shots now. He has woken up, gets the pick on towards Jenko. And that could be enough, brings it to a 2v2, but it's not quite one that is as close on paper because Jesper's positioning could win it all on his own as he finds the first. The smoke is going to get blocked, but Neil is going to be taken down in the smoke, and that alone really wins them the round. But Lazar's pick there actually had a lot of value to it.
Yeah, Jenko was holding exactly where Jenko was holding Car. As he unscopes, Lazar peeks him and does take him down. So 6-1, money on FM's side. I don't think it's looking too bright.
Yeah, Jesper main as well, not going to unlock his play. 12-1 currently for him, and a lot of those having these huge impacts. You kind of look at that double kill there, closing out that clutch.
Oh yeah, it's definitely impact frags. I don't think he's even had one eco. From what I've seen.
Yeah,
it's all been Lazar
honestly
and,
not surprised by this.
Lazar and Max and Imi. So 12 very crucial kills, and you can tell by the scoreline, 6-1. Jenko, no armor, he's going to be buying that up into the next round. It'll be interesting to see how he changes his game. He knows he's playing versus Lazar, who's not going to peek into him. So, does he try and go to the opposite side of the map there, where Lazar is? Or does he try face Lazar himself and actually aim with the orb? Versus a full eco. This is quite strange. Anyway, though, Max is going to take 1, 2. That's a nice headshot. Does he get a third? No, he doesn't.
Let's leave the door wide open for FM, though, to get that bomb plant, which is a huge win for them in the grand scheme of things, because not only that, they've got an AWP, they've got an M4 on towards Stanley. This is happy days almost.
For forklift? Oh, I like this. Mollies go through to quad and forklift. I don't think they've smoked their main though, and you can see all those players burning. Jenko does fall with the orb. Stanley as well peeks. Does take the kill, but Lazar gets the trade. And now we're looking at Jesper to get that final kill. And those set Molotovs all together with the flash. Great teamwork there. I mean, you can tell these players have definitely been drilled in.
Yeah, I was going to say, the flash actually made those Molotovs have the value that we wanted to see, because the minute that last flash goes out from Jesp, straight over towards that back of that site, blinds the two players from quad. They're already mid-cross, which means that Jesp gets to pick down one, get one, potentially even the chance for a second, and from there, everything just falls into place, and it's almost humble pie for us at this point, because as much as we may have sat here and kind of almost bewildered Endpoint at times for a couple of decisions.
Woo! That's a fast one.
They're still making it work. 7-1 from them, but FM, as we see from Jenko, they're not asleep. They are still going to be well and truly awake and still fighting. Jenko does get that quick pick on towards mid, but it's just a pick. It's just an advantage.
Doesn't even peek off the flash, so right now he's expecting Jenko to rotate there. Instead, he will be boosted. Oh, Jenko just shows off. Did he mean to do that? He didn't mean to do that. Uh-oh, he's not happy with that. And now they smoke off that angle. Oh, no.
That gives the read right back into the side of the CTs, as they may have one man down, but they have information to play with. I'm not quite sure what's on the top of the screen.
Lazar didn't want to peek main because he was worried that Jenko was holding with the orb. And now he's shot there. You can see already, Max has pushed A main. Shooting the orb once changes the whole round, and now they're going to collapse on them from all angles. Here we go, Jesp holding the B main angle. He's got so many impactful frags, but doesn't quite connect anything there just yet.
Oh, the Molotov going down as well. It's just perfectly timed. It means
they
have to push on through, though. It's still just not enough to block off the site, though. The flash is going to be enough for Ezio to get the free peek on out. Jenko looking to go aggressive with his pistol. Should be able to punish Ezio, but there's still enough time for the CTs to find those picks. The bomber's going to go down. It is a 3v3 retake.
This is hard retake for the CTs right now. Lazar gets naded, and actually this might be the Colby! Oh, he goes down! Stanley finds him 2 versus 3 right now.
He's ever so drawn towards Max's position, because this is pretty much make it or break it, but it's going to be smashed into the ground, unable to get it to work. And FM, they will call around out of the dirt, get themselves to 2, but in a very, very clear but. If they think that it's just another one where they can stroll on through now, okay, we've won around, let's just smash down their economy. No, it's not going to be that easy. Endpoint, they have 11,000, 12,000 money, so much in their bank.
So,
an easy one for them to buy back up through.
FM losing this one. Actually, yeah, so if FM loses one, then money won't be too strong. Let's be Jenko try and get the first frag, yes he will. Good V-spawn, catches Ezio dropping into checkers. And now Lazar on the instant rotate, coming towards B. Will he flush the angle and have just push? Or will they just hold the angle with the orb? But actually, no flash push, and that's a really nice shot there from Jenko. Just the reflexes there. Lazar though finds one. Jenko falls, and now Stanley's trying to make the play. Lazar going to be swarmed very soon. The Molotov comes in. Stanley runs through it and takes that Lazar. Can he get the spray transfer? Refaces. Max, by the skin of his teeth, falls back, and right now, There's a gap in that. But
He smokes.
Imi can't release. Oh, yes he does. Neil falls, he spots another foot. And one failed smoke suddenly makes his round winnable. You saw Max going for the save there. And now he's been tagged up to 34 HP. We might just see the save come in. That's the sound cue of the jump. But Pulse, he's not having none of it. Obviously, Max and Pulse going way back in terms of history playing on FM. Funnily enough, it's Max playing against him right now. And currently, he's a map up and 7-3 in the lead.
Yeah, very workable scoreline for FM, though, it has to be said. Went from what was a 7-1 to a 7-3, and one that is rapidly changing. Of course, you have to look towards Endpoint's economy.
Ooh.
It's going to be on the
Observer, if we can get that up.
the running down side.
Actually, enough of that because we need to focus on this. Does Imi save the M4? Timing. Spots him. Sprays him. Yes, he does get him. So the players are outside Squeaky, so I don't think there's enough time unless Stanley just literally comes charging in. Imi, why are you facing?
Emi, if you just stayed on towards lockers.
Oh, there's still time. Okay. There's still sort of time, so not really the worst call.
I mean,
that's 50-50 in my eyes. So 7-3. Right now, FM have realized that B is the weak point for Endpoint. Weak point for Endpoint.
I mean, this is the economy as well that I wanted to touch on, was as much as that rifle being saved would have been useful, it doesn't really change too much. Endpoint, they still are able just to squeeze out through pistols. Yes, they had this huge bountiful economy, but off the back of what they were buying up and how much investment they were bringing on in, they weren't going for these light buys. They were getting every single thing they could, every pistol upgrade here and there, and it's cost them.
Definitely. Slow T default coming out, waiting for the pushes of Endpoint. But you've got to understand, Endpoint hardly ever push. More of the passive setup. Nice and easy frags there for Pulse. Neil as well to get the second. Lazar. This is a close angle with the CZ. This is where you want to find this weapon. One. Doesn't quite get the second. That's a nice trade there from Pulse. Pulse actually stood in for Endpoint as well. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I gotta say, there's a lot of history between most of the players, though, isn't there?
Mostly because they constantly fold, but enough about that. We
you
spoke enough about card games.
Yeah, we spoke enough about card games, even though the UK scene does fold more than a deck of cards.
Oh.
Jenko, gotta give it to him, the amount of initial picks he's been able to find.
I would say right now for me, that's just a good point. I mean, Jenko's been getting the picks.
Ooh, not for much longer though. Max gonna take it right out of his hands.
He wants to make the play. That's fine. You're 7-4 down. If you are losing those rounds, the problem is though, with the momentum right now in FM's favor, just do what's working and win.
I mean, this is one huge point. You always talk about, you're talking about Jenko, you're talking about Lazar. As much as we may want Lazar to go aggressive, the one huge upside to him not necessarily going for this playmaker role.
He never dies.
He doesn't die, which actually there is a lot of value in that for Endpoint in these situations. Max is on 15 HP, but practically every other player intact for the most part, so they are not complaining. They just want to sit tight. They just want to wait for these pushes to roll in, and this, yet again, is where we find ourselves sat in that predicament of, as much as we may have opinions and lean towards aggression, the pass to star is what makes it work, as Robin will force the hand of Jess.
That's a really nice frag there. How does he get that trade?
Ezio
plays on a very, very high sensitivity, right? He plays on 1.4? 1,400 DPI, I believe, but enough about that because we're standing to find another frag for the T side. FM find 2. So, 4 versus 3, low HP. Lazar's going to be holding both of these angles now alone, isolated on the A bomb site. But they have the flash? Are they going to use it, though? Please tell me the peak with the flash. No, they don't. Easy flick there for Lazar anymore. Yes, he will. Another one. Oh, doesn't quite get it, though, but he's still alive. That's all that matters.
The smoke is bad on Highway as well, so he actually can get the information if he goes for it on towards that split push coming from Highway, which he doesn't even need to, as Ezio comes in from behind, stabs his knife basically in towards Stanley because there's no hope for him at all in that situation.
But if there's anyone you want in this situation on Endpoint side, sorry, on FM side, it's Nilzinho. We saw what he did to CEX.
Yeah, going to be able to make it work. They're playing around the right side of that box.
They're together. What? Let's get a second. Spots him, but Ezio. This time it's on the ball, gets that final kill.
That would have been such a different round if Neil made the assumption that they were going to be both together. He just assumed they'd play it smart. They would go separately from 2 different angles and secure it for themselves.
So Robin just typed, so apparently Ezio was swapping his guns. I think, you know, you have that tick where you just like press 3 on 1. Maybe just spot your nades. I do it personally when I forget what nades I've got left.
I feel like that's just a generic thing that a lot of people do nowadays.
Yeah,
whether to blame it on that.
I forget what nades I've got because I'm an idiot, I just press that button.
I don't know. There's always that option to show you HUD at all times.
So, Imi now in mid this time, not Lazar. And he will smoke off the default area. And Pulse, sorry, Robin and Co will charge up over boost. And now Laz is low HP, not too sure how he got there. But we'll throw over the M4 to you want that M4 on Jess right now. I mean, he is 15 to 5. Hello. There we go. It's a tab, mate.
You know what we should do? We should have a general rule of thumb that it's just unbuying console. We don't need no console key. Robin is going to be looking just right through connector and right through highway, just to see if a head will peer on through, and from there, potential for a quick one-tap right to the cranium, but nothing so far. Max is just going to be sitting tight on those boxes as well, so I do like the play on both sides of the board, but it has to be said, the change-up from putting that AWP in towards mid and up towards A, it's actually worth its weight in gold for Endpoint, because Lazar is a lot more useful in terms of that position. The one counterplay is this B-site push, and he has to try and make something work on that retake. The push is going to begin.
Sorry, we saw before the Endpoint's weak side was the B-site. Pulse though, full blind. Ezreal's going to reface Troy. Jeff, the only M4 goes down, but it's going to be the trade frag from Mighty Max, spamming through the smoke. The HE nade goes in. Oh, it's not even the nade. Yeah, okay, fair play, mate. 2 versus 4 because Robin did kill Max, and sorry to cut you off there. I just really wanted to speak about how Endpoint's weak point has been the B site, and once again, the old faithful go towards B has worked.
You do love your points. Gotta say, Lazar and his AWP. We were talking about how strong it is on A. On the retakes, yeah, not really what you're looking for.
You can't be in the exact. I mean,
no, I'm not saying it's him specifically. No,
whoa.
I'm making the point that how they changed the setup from mid,
yep,
which they wanted to put less pressure on mid with the AWP. They adjusted it on towards A, which I think, as I mentioned before, a good play.
One default that UFrag do, which Adam calls, which I do personally like, is at the start of the round, have the AWP play connector or towards white box. Hold boost, hold mid, whatever, right? If there's nothing that happens mid, then the AWPer makes a decision to go A or B, right? So why is that good? So far, we've only seen FM rush on their full eco buys. Apart from that, they are playing the slow default, trying to get picks with Jenko's AWP. So if Lazar was to go mid every round, and then based off what he heard or what information he got from his teammates, then made the call which side to hit, he would be, you know, in position to get those early frags, and that's what you want from the AWP. But anyway, enough of that, because speaking about Jenko's AWP trying to find picks, he spots Ezio, but only a P250 to his name. And Imi has an AWP. Why has Imi got an AWP when Lazar saved it?
Not quite sure.
I mean, he's pushed B, but surely, I mean, I don't want to say pushing B with an AWP is mechanically hard, but those are some hard, you know, shots if the players jump across.
It's the flicks that you may have to try and land, which is arguably where Lazar is going to be.
You want the primary AWPer to try and hit those, but enough of that. Jess finds a nice shot there onto Pulse. Robin will make Ezio fall 6 feet to his grave. Stand dog. Don't know how many frags he's on right now. We'll talk about that afterwards because Lazar gets shot right in the back. Oh, backstab. Apologise in their regards. Robin as well from Truck. Does find that frag, and now Max with the AWP in the 1 versus 3. It's a nice shot there. Takes down Jenko.
Trying to make the best of things almost, but what can he do aside from Wait going aggressive? Perhaps a very risky play. Of course, does have a kit. No Kevlar, but I don't think that's going to play too much as the first shot is going to be the winning point for him. But the play from Endpoint just to sit tight as a double up stack towards quad pretty much means that the impact of him getting that first pick is going to be much tougher. But they go for the boost, but he misses that first shot. He even gets a second chance, but Robin is going to splice on through.
Earlier we're mentioning Stanley didn't have any kills, and right now he's top fragging. Suddenly, FM start winning all these rounds, and the player that's changed, the player that's woken up is Stanley.
It's because he's abusing the B side, though, which is
1-1 dog right now, isn't it?
You kind of glossed over the point. We talked quite a lot about Lazar, but the real big, the kind of the meat of what we were trying to get at is that the B site has been the ever so hard point to try and do. And Endpoint have always struggled to hold it off. Jess tries to go for a quick hit with a scout, unable to find the tags at all. And from there, FM now going to look to drop down this smoke. They're going to throw a couple of flashes out here and there, and this opens things back up for Stanley to find those shots. This is why we're seeing him frag, because the area of the map he's playing in his default towards is getting the job done in terms of weakness. He's a happy man.
The job done in terms of weakness. They are definitely being exposed. So, we saw Ezio play headshot before, that's why he's mollied it. Faces are now just caught off guard. Where are you?
See, it's almost textbook at this point. Stanley, he's getting the easy picks on the B site because they are struggling to hold things off. Jenko, he's going to sit towards heaven, just make sure that no counter push rolls on through. Jesper's just 3 HP. That's not a number you want to be playing with. Max is going to push towards heaven. He gets shut down by Jenko. Stanley on towards Jesp. Bit by bit, it's going to crumble. Laza needs to go absolutely huge. Only finds one. The trade ever so plentiful for FM. They get an easy round.
Wow. I did not expect 8-7 when I saw 7-1.
I think that judging by the way FM played it, it's almost repetitious. FM, they isolated the weak point, and Endpoint didn't make a change. And we ourselves got stuck in a loop of almost reverting straight back to Laza, but Laza wasn't the core problem. It was the entirety of the team and the lack of their adjustment.
Never blame Laza. It's just
yeah.
The AWPer for a team is generally the good talking point. We speak a lot about Jenko. We speak a lot about Laza. One person we have to mention now is Stanley, because the difference he made on that T side later into the first half was huge. Early door push and early A main push, and for some reason we're looking at the wrong side.
Hello, Robin. Just going to find himself a quick 3K. Don't want to be seeing that. There was Jenko going to add into the mix on towards Max as we're going to just find ourselves glossing over all the action. And Stanley ends it with a quick one tap. 8-8 is going to be the scoreline. And a very nice pistol rolling in from the CT side.
That was fast. What can you do? Anyway.
It happened.
Okay, so 2 ways. Well, there's so many different things you can do on your CT pistol. One which some teams opt to go for when they think our aim is better than theirs. We have momentum. Is push either 1A playing retake, 1 mid, 3 push B, or 2 door, 2A main, and have 1 player spot mid and play retake towards B. Or sorry, 1 player B and play retake B. Anyway, the force bite coming up from Endpoint, and now it's going to be pistols going 1-1 from both sides. Door open, Molotov out. Let's just spray through the smoke, and Robin finds it. I do like that, actually, holding the Molotov, waiting for the squeaky door to open, but enough of that. Because Jenko charging on the site, wants the $600. Does get Laza, and he does get Max. Yes, he does. So, 1 round lead now for FM. Endpoint, we saw them whole first half being in the lead. The question is, though, can they do what FM did and pull it back?
What do you think in this case? Because I'm looking at those players.
I'm thinking FM's got the momentum now. Personally, I think this will be closed out 16-12 FM.
I think it's a given that FM are in the driver's seat, but you have to look towards those players of Endpoint. I don't think they're guys that are just going to fall off the wagon once they start, getting behind. I do see them still remaining competitive, so getting another couple of rounds here and there is certainly something we can expect. But it's that narrative of, okay, are they actually going to be able to contest the scoreline? Because, say for example, they sit tight now, we go into that first buy.
Yep.
There's always a chance that we could see some just very quick aggression coming out from Endpoint, which could catch FM.
I mean, a massive X factor and thing that made a big difference on the CT side of Endpoint was Jesp. 15 frags, none of them eco kills, purely impactful kills, right? Imagine if some of those imagine if Jesp didn't get all of those frags. We could have been seeing maybe FM winning the half, and it's very hard to keep a performance like that going into the second half on the other side.
What's the clutch count as well? What was it? Three clutches, I think it was, from him?
Something like that.
So really,
not clutches, but 2 versus 2 important kills.
Yeah, the 2v2s of him and usually Laza in, well, at least 2 cases. So they can't complain, but you're certainly rightfully so concerned about the point of consistency across halves. As Endpoint, they're going to need that going to the second half if they want to make that comeback happen, as at least for now. With these pistols, they want a bomb plant. Ooh. That's best case for them. They try and go for a bit of a fake play, just a bit of presence over towards A, but unfortunately, FM are not quite going to fall for something as simple as that. Rudimentary for them to mop through, to clean them all up.
Easy around there. The bomb did go down though. So, 10-8. And right now, all the pressure is on for Endpoint. Money is still strong on the FM side, so even if they do lose this, they shall be buying into the next one. But if FM lose this, after buying up, especially after force buying after the pistol, this means that FM take the first buy round of the second half. We could be seeing FM go straight away to 13.
That'd be a huge point for FM, and what a way for them to really just announce that they are in control. This Pulse going to be sitting over towards Vent, but he's not facing towards Boost, just going to be really holding that angle, making sure that if he knows any funny business is coming out towards mid-garage, he's the first man to find out at least. As Imi is just going to be sitting tight, making sure that no counter boost rolls on in. So overall, 2 very solid defaults coming out across the board, but something that's somewhat weird is we're not really seeing any faces, which is, means a lot of information, lackluster on both sides yet again. Where is that first pick going to come? Certainly shaping up like it's going to be Jess perhaps over towards B. I think that's a given by the subtle shifts we've had from the bomb, and Jess beginning to move his way forward as he'll break that window, get himself that smoke on towards CT.
The Christmas looks mid and Paul spots it. They know it's the B, and you can see how the A players are instantly rotating. But Robin through that molly gets caught off guard, and Ezio finds 2. Pulse falls as well. And now they can slow this round right down because they have a 2-man lead. Playing the trade game now.
Trying to play the trade game, but they're still just continuing with this barrage on towards the site, but they're all hitting their shots. Back-to-back headshots across the board. Jess, Max, and Ezio, they will combine. A great original double kill coming in from Ezio at the start of the round out towards mid, because the huge impact from that pretty much means that FM completely out of the running when it came down to an early retake, so they had to slow things down on their side of the board, and but from there, they couldn't hold the site. Just of how crisp Endpoint were being. 9 to 10. Thought Endpoint were pretty much done. Oh. That was the contention I was expecting to see. Ooh. It's not quite from Ezio.
Pulse. Gonna be battling Jess here. Peeks out. Oh, legs him. Jess on only 16 HP now. He's going back for more. Checking to see if Pulse has decided to push and get greedy, but definitely not. So, slow T-Volt coming out for the Ts. I mentioned before Endpoint, they're not really the type of team to rush, and when they do, it's generally Max that calls those sort of plays. Instead, Imi has the reins right now and is calling for the slow defaults. Allow Lazar, he doesn't have the AWP actually, but it will be Imi being boosted up, trying to get the picks. And try and take control on mid, but it's going to be Robin to face off.
I mean, he's going to be over towards Sandbags, so not necessarily too strong of an angle for mid overall, but specifically boost. Now that's an angle you can work with, especially with M4, as the smoke is going to be enough for Imi to just play with as a shroud. Vent is going to be broken, but information almost certainly to be garnered. Don't block each other, don't just allow that molly to get almost free damage. It reclaims all its value. Molotovs all across the board for the T-side being expended, just making sure they clear out checkers. Another headshot from Lazar. He claims the life of Jenko, and I mean, what on earth can they possibly do on the FM side at this point? Bit by bit, they make these single pushes. The only big hold that can be done is Neil on the site. We'll find one, but one not quite enough. The push from Heaven, slightly dismantling, but doesn't quite get the job done. Pulse can have a flurry of shots coming up from all directions. He can't quite handle it as he will be taken down by Jess.
B for Endpoint was their weak point, and FM is looking like the same, but the problem was FM realized that Endpoint's B was weak after Endpoint already had 8 rounds. Endpoint is picking those players apart on the B site. There's only been 5 rounds played. So the realization could actually play a big factor here. Jenko holding that tiny angle underneath the railings of Connector will fall because Ezio knows about that position. Robin was here last time, but Robin's not here right now. So the molly, futile. But smoke towards Connector, there's 2 players there. Will they peek? Yes, they will. But they all 3 of them face. I like the idea, but the execution doesn't quite work out. It's going to be standing there with the 4. My God, that's another kill as well. 2 kills found. Don't know why I'm getting so hyped over that. I thought there were more C2 players alive, to be honest with you, but damage done to the economy is damage done.
I did kind of have a quick question for you in regards to Ezio, because a lot of people miscategorize Ezio. They kind of mark him down as various types of player. Where would you put him overall? Because I have a question leading off the back of this, but...
Okay, wait. Are you talking...
Is he an entry fragger? Is he support? Where would you sit him towards?
Okay, no. Ezio shines in the clutch plays, the 2 versus 2s, the 1 versus 2s. That's why originally I had a problem with the lineup of Endpoint, because it felt like the roles were so jumbled up. Ezio was entry fragging, and he felt and looked so out of place. But with the addition of Jesp, Max as well stepping up for more of that entry role, we've definitely seen Ezio be revitalized.
So certainly an intriguing point, and I can see the whole clutch aspect, but it has to be said, just from looking at him play, at least in this matchup, he's been ever so crisp in terms of just walking to the B site, constant one-taps on towards headshot. He may well be that clutch player, but he's still got some entry fragging roots within him, enabling him to step up in this.
Yeah, maybe it was the experience he had before just joined.
Oh, when you have to play a role, it comes a lot back to it, doesn't it, at the end of the day?
It was like Team Liquid before Simple joined, where they had the mismatch of who wants to be the entry, who wants to be the AWP, who wants to be the RGL, all those problems. It was Max one day, Inni one day.
Just pick a role out of the hat.
Yeah, but right now, we've seen how different, well, personally, I didn't cast them for 3 weeks, and over those 3 weeks, they look very different. Now they have their assorted roles, looking very comfortable and playing very well. And speaking about Ezio and his one-taps, Robin falls. Not quite a one-tap, but headshot, nevertheless. And it will be the frag, but low HP on him, so Ezio joins him, though.
sorry, not Ezio. Nilzinho joins him at 19 HP on that B-bomb side. He's going to be the one tested. Let's see if they can hold this. If they can change what we've been seeing so far. Pulse at the triple box's angle finds the bomb and Mighty Max, and they're not close together. They can't play the trade game. Stanley and Nilzinho find frags, and now it's Nilzinho still alive somehow, being shot at 19 HP, manages to stay alive. 2 versus 2. Lazza with the orb. Oh my goodness, Jenko plucks Lazza out of the sky. 9 seconds on the clock. Jets though does fall.
All that has to be said for that. It's ever so simple, and it's one huge
Play
point.
together.
Whoa, one word: crossfires. Don't let them use them. That's all that was at the back of the site as well.
The Ts or the CTs?
Well, from the CT perspective, the fact they were allowed to sit in that crossfire for so long, the amount of frags they were able to pick up from that.
So, in my eyes, that's fine. The biggest problem was, you watch Virtus Pro play, they've been in the team for 3 years. Whenever they play their T sides, they are so close together. And the reason being is, you saw exactly what happened there. The trade frag didn't come in to Pulse, and he was able to get 2 frags, or 1 frag and damage the other player, and then Nilzinho cleaned them up. The problem is, if you had that instant trade onto Pulse, that would have been so much harder for Nilzinho to find multiple frags. But enough of that, because Jenko plays aggressive, and it works out for him because Imi falls. Jesp trying to make it 4 versus 4, and he does just that.
They'll be looking for the frag yet again on towards this B site. It is the same old, but there is going to be something lacking in the team play on the back of the site.
No
Might not be
way.
present, but it is going to be Robin. The free peek in towards Vents, eventually going to be punished by Ezio as he swings back in with the lurk over towards mid. Jenko now going to be readjusting, and well, could have gone for a wallbang, but not quite going to have the information to merit it. But look at Ezio still lurking through mid, and this is so much information for him, and if he pushes here, or even just sits tight, he could get so much done as Jenko looked like he had a rough idea that perhaps there was a player in connector, and is now going to come back for second pickings. But if he slow peeks this, Ezio can win the battle. He does win it. He's going for the second one-tap up towards Stanley. But look at Max riding from behind. That is devastating. He's going to get the bomb down, planted for open. Neil, he's over towards the B side, just confused, not quite sure what even happened all, but a blur for him. As Endpoint sure to take this to 12-11.
And the pressure is on for FM because Nuke was 16-12. And right now, FM, they're sitting on, sorry, Endpoint, they're sitting on 12. And we could be looking at, I thought, the best team in this tournament going out, not going out, sorry, but going into the lower, well, the lower bracket stage of this and fighting for second and third, because if Endpoint win this cash map, they shall go into I-Series with the first seed. They will go into the Masters with the first seed, having the map advantage. And they will be guaranteeing themselves 4,000 at least Great British pounds.
I think for me, this comes down to just Endpoint and how dedicated they've been over the past couple of weeks.
You say that, but they actually haven't practiced much.
Well, this is what, I want to get into this because I got to actually have a quick conversation with him here and there, and I spoke to him.
Who's him?
Imi.
Okay.
So, and it came down to, as much as their dedication in actual prac times has been limited, but that's been down to just playing in those ECA main playoffs. But when they actually have been able to practice, Imi's constantly fiddling, constantly changing the small things up, rolls here and there, just tweaking the slight parts of the pushes. And every single match, one thing that's always been recurring, it feels like they're improving.
Definitely so. Ezio was getting so many entry frags towards the B and mid area, and now they're giving it up. Instead, he's going to try and push up highway. And oh my god! Surely they know there could be up highway.
He knows it's a boost on A, and now the XQ comes to know exactly where both the players are.
This is just pinpoint perfect. They still get to try and use the boost. Ezio going to find himself the kill aided by Jesp. Of course, Robin is going to find one, but Jesp is dismantling them. He's shutting them down. He gets the peek on towards Car. Jenko is going to respond with the CZ, but Lazza with the AWP. He is the pillar that counters. Jenko will go aggressive, but it's going to be countered back out again. Pulse still ever so comfortably a CZ.
He whiffs the shot though. Pulse baits it out. Lazza falls back to a main, and now that Lazza's a main, this is where it gets so difficult because the bomb is not quite down yet.
The more that Pulse maneuvers himself, the easier it will become for Max, though, because his goal at this point is to get himself behind so that Max gets that peak, and from there, Lazza is also the baiting man in A main, and that role constantly flip-flops between the two of them, depending on where Pulse is facing, as the bomb is going to find its way down, and yet again, it's that same point. Pulse looking to throw a wrench in the works by going towards that elevated angle. Isn't quite going to be that face. Getting an M4 does change things somewhat, but 13 HP, not a pretty number. The nade. Max can just soak on through that, not going to be too worried.
He whiffs it
Not
again.
going to miss just another shot. That's going to bite Max to get pushed, but Max isn't going to miss. He's able to secure it. Endpoint. They get to 13-11.
The nerves definitely showing on these players right now. They know what this means. The first seed at I-Series. We could be looking at the finals of Insomnia right here.
The interesting thing is that Nuke, even though the scoreline, 12 rounds or such, doesn't necessarily feel always as close. Every single round felt contested.
I actually do enjoy Nuke.
I think Nuke is the map, as much as it may have its issues here and there in terms of watching it from a spectator point of view, it is certainly providing a bit of a curveball to watch. But you apply that to Cash as well. A couple of these rounds have been a little bit more clear-cut, but also it still feels like it's got that close, almost merit to it, as we are at least going to see a 1-4 on trade. But at least in this round, that closest we keep on talking about, well, can't quite harp on it about when, well, can't quite keep on harping on, should we say, as FM, it's just four USPs. I don't imagine them really putting up too much of a fight in this one, which should, at least on paper, at Endpoint on 14-11.
And at that point, it's no errors for FM, because one loss at that point will make it the 15th. Anyway, Luzza gets nice 2 frags there for him. On to the unarmored pistol players. It's a nice flick down, actually. It's a very hard shot to hit, and actually the nade comes in. Not too much damage, obviously. But, ooh, Luzza could have died there, actually. 18 HP if he just came and peeked out and shot him down, but Jesp on the ball, has his teammates back, and right now, we're looking at 14, that magical 14-11 for FM. No AWP on the CT side, so we could see some aggression. We saw what Endpoint did on their CT side when they had no AWP. They got aggressive towards Squeaky, and it didn't work out for them. Could potentially be seeing the same thing based off the setup. Still 2-1-2 set up on the CT side, and it's going to be the fast play towards B. Let's see, just spots on Nilsinu. This could be it.
Pulse, he needs to go huge. He needs a spray down. He's letting his trigger go off the handle, but it doesn't quite get enough done. Only one pick. That's not going to hold off the B site. Endpoint, they have full control. The cross is going to be held by Jenko. He's going to need to do so much here. The Molotov is going to fade just in the smoke, but has he bought enough time?
Throw it! Throw it!
Hey, there we go. Just falls, and we're going to see.
The bomb still goes down.
Yep.
The value still going to be somewhat limitless off the back of that. It is a pick nonetheless, and making that retake a doable task. But the bomb is still ticking away, and that gives things towards Endpoint's conception as, hey, get yourself comfortable, get yourself in these afterplants. As Lazar lands the pick, he is starting to hit these shots as Robin just going to be looking to hold that angle, but Lazar looking towards heaven. The bomb, of course, is going to be planted for Lazar to try and work with. He gets the peak, lands just another, looking for the third.
Ace, I think.
A triplet coming in from him.
Oh, of course, the 2 frags on the... 2 frags. Yeah,
there we go.
It's always the B bomb site. It's always the B bomb site. It's like I'm watching the same round over and over.
I mean, this entire game has been the B bomb site.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, both of these teams on their CT sides, their B bomb site needs some revision, I think.
It's like the Edge of Tomorrow. Every time they die, they just come back again, try again, and they keep failing. So
unfortunately, on the Edge of Tomorrow, eventually they held the B site. But
yeah,
right now,
the problem is right now we haven't seen them eventually hold the B bomb site.
Yeah, there is no kind of revitalized push, unlike the Edge of Tomorrow. And this is
spoilers. Well,
the beginning of the end. It's 15-11.
Good read. Yeah, good read here from the Endpoint side. Always playing very passive on their anti-ecos. Robin though the SMG. Just want to see if he can take down Mighty Max.
Max is just going to creep on through. Molotov is going to go almost just trying to force the push somewhat. If Robin does creep on up, that may present a frag or even a head. Should be safe for him as he tries to fire off a couple of shots here and there. But unfortunately, the target he's trying to find, well, just doesn't quite exist, it seems, as he's unable to land anything at all. So the CTs are just going to be sitting on nice and tight. Imi looking now, he's going to get himself a boost or...
Oh no, if they boost the AWP up.
Ezio.
Oh my god.
1, 2, anymore! Sprays down the 3rd player, but he's so low! Imi on 6 HP, and now the 2-man lead, and
such a low HP player as well. This is basically a 2 versus 3, unless Imi can pick up the AWP maybe. But he falls back. That could have been the 3 spray down there.
Intrigued to see how Endpoint are going to approach this round. They have some options, that's for sure, but they're always going to be on the back foot when it comes down to firepower, because Imi, yes, he may have a rifle, but he's 6 HP. Just a single shot of anything could end his day. The Deagle or Jenko, for example, even in the toe, is enough to shut him down. His angles are going to be held. Molotovs to try and force Stanley out of position. He's going to be burning one. He has to go for the push. But Endpoint, they don't utilize it. They don't try and get that pick. And from there, Imi's going to walk right in. The value already have 1 rifle, maybe dropped straight to the floor. There's 5 seconds on the clock. If they just drop this bomb plant, this is going to be it.
Oh, the max 7-1. Does he get the second one? Yes, he does. That's 1.8k in the bank. Sealed and dealed. 15-12. I mean, the money is still going to be strong on the effort on the Endpoint side.
We talked about this exact same scenario on Nuke. It was such a similar scoreline of, okay, it's 15-12. The comeback may actually be on the cards.
And then they lost it.
And then they lost it.
Look at the money on...
Do you think it's going to be different? I have to ask.
Well, I thought FM was going to win it after what I was seeing happen after the second pistol. Endpoint had to shut me up there because Ezio...
We saw Stanley wake up and start fragging towards B, and Ezio did the exact same towards B in mid, so...
Ezio definitely shutting me up there. Robin going for another push. Lazar holding this angle. He does love to hold this for ages and wait for the jiggle peak. Especially when you're online, you have that 40 ping, that's 40 extra milliseconds for the shot to work, so... This is quite boring.
Lazar just going to sit tight, just making sure that he can
boring.
hold that angle. The clock is going to begin to wind on down. Still just going to be waiting.
So,
Jaco,
what did you have for breakfast? We didn't have breakfast, did we? Had Frankie and
didn't
Benny's.
actually get to eat breakfast, unfortunately. Apparently waking up is...
Shout out to any Italian watchers.
Yeah.
Yes, even.
It's actually pretty good, in fairness. Had a bit of a 50-50 review, it seems, from casters who've been down to Basingstoke. But nonetheless, still waiting if anything's going to happen over towards mid. Endpoint going to begin to shuffle back around again. Looks like mid has got to be a target, though. As Ezio is going to be looking to try and dart on through Jenko. Almost finding himself dodge his own bullets. Ezio going to throw out a Molotov towards Highway. But it is still just that same old root point. Eventually, Ezio gets the pick on towards Nil. Timing, a fruitful factor. But it has to be said, timing is not the be-all and end-all of life, as Robin is going to try and find this quick trade, just pre-aiming straight for Imi, and an easy frag for him, but straight back towards Ezio.
Ezio is playing so well so far.
Max as well going to catch up Pulse on the rotation towards A. The lights are on, production think it's up, and this kill from Ezio. Oh, that's it, done and dusted. 1 versus 4. Jenko will fall. Endpoint 2-0 FM, and they've got the first seed at Ice Series, and they must be very, very happy with that.
I don't think they can be complaining at all, especially considering the team's roots or the problems they've been having.
Yeah,
Probably one of
the
the teams.
standings, and finally wants to have a set 5. They really do show it.
Well, fingers crossed they can keep this set 5 together. Of course, all eyes are on Jespen if he's going to be sticking with the team as a permanent 5th and such.
He's
but
not on the team just yet. He's going to Ice Series with them, but
how do you think Ice Series is going to go for them? That's a question. Land finals aside.
Masters, let's be real here. After what Kaz showed yesterday, it's probably going to be Endpoint versus FM, and I'd really like to see that matchup again.